What the hell is up, everybody? Louis back here again for another exciting weekend of fights. We had a week off, but we're finally back. UFC Paris. You got Cyril Gane taking on Tai Bam Bam TUIVASA for, I guess it's like a semifinals, the heavyweight tournament. I don't know. The winner might fight Curtis Blades. Who knows what's going on with Francis, Stipe, and or John Jones. But it should be a banger of a fight. Huge opportunity for TUIVASA and good opportunity for Cyril to get back on track in his hometown. Then in the co-main event, you got Robert the Reaper Whittaker taking on Marvin the Italian Dream Vettori to ultimately find out who is number 2 at 185. But Izzy might go up to 205, so, you know, should be an important fight, but also should be a banger. I'm excited for it. And then also you got Charles Air Jourdain taking on Nathaniel Wood. That should be a fun one. Let's see if Nathaniel Wood really belongs at featherweight. And let's see if Charles Jourdain can bounce back and get a crazy win. Also, you got Joaquin Buckley on the prelims. So it's pretty interesting. But quick recap last weekend. I did pretty bad. Obviously, my heart dropped whenever Usman lost. Didn't see that one coming at all. And, you know, Jose Aldo and Merab, that was like my biggest bet. And Merab just kind of hugged Jose against the fence for that fight. So, it is what it is. It sucks. But anyway, let's move on to what we've got. 12 fights. Perfect number of fights, in my opinion. First fight of the night at 145 pounds. Women's featherweight. You got Stephanie Egger taking on Ailin Perez. Egger took on Mayra Bueno Silva her last fight. Quick one. She just ate some leg kicks, I noticed. And then she lands a short overhand, but she gets headlocked. And, sorry, she's eating some short overhands while she's getting leg kicked, and then she gets a headlock and she gets on top, but then she gets caught in an armbar. Just kind of a crazy scramble. What happened? Mayra Bueno Silva is underrated on the ground, got submitted from there. It happens. But she took on Jessica Rose Clark before that. In the first round, she eats some straight rights, but then she gets clinched after that. But then she's able to get the overhook foot trip against the fence, but then she gets tripped again. Jessica kept that wizard, did a nice job with that, but then she's able to get the same exact trip again with the overhook and step over, and then she's inside control. She's able to take the back, they roll through the position, and then she's able to come out on top with the armbar, get the armbar submission. So she's pretty good at armbars, or she's going to get armbarred. And then Ailin Perez took on Stephanie Bragiak, her last fight outside of the promotion. In the first round, she lands a front kick to a clinch, and she's able to get the backside trip into side control. And then she's able to get into transition to full guard, land some nice ground and pound, get into half guard, and then she goes for an arm triangle, decent attempt. And then in the second round, she's able to duck the straight, get the body lock right away, and she's able to get the takedown right into full guard and land some nasty ground and pound. And then back on her feet, she's able to block some kicks. She pushes her down, blocking the kick in a full mount. And then after the second round, she doesn't answer the bell, and she gets a TKO by retirement. So, Ailin Perez plus 210, Stephanie Egger minus 250. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to go with the underdog because women's MMA is very hard to bet on, and I've got burned a lot betting on big favorites. Minus 250 for Stephanie Egger, low level, just got submitted by armbar. She wins by armbar. It's too much money. I'm going to go Ailin Perez. Maybe she can just take her down and beat the shit out of her. Who knows? But I'm not laying chalk on another low-level women's fighter. So, Ailin Perez. Okay, second fight of the night at 135 pounds, men's bantamweight. You got TAHA taking on Christian Quinones, UFC newcomer. TAHA took on Sergey Morozov his last fight. In the first round, he lands some step-in jabs, and he lands some wild hooks, he kind of wings them. But then he gets pressured back, and he gets body locked off the fence, put in a half guard. But he's able to get the underhook, but he's not able to get up. But he's really trying. And then later on in the round, he tries the leg lock while he's on the ground, eats some ground and pound. Wasn't smart of him. Then in the second round, he eats left hook off of his leg kicks, but then he eats a jab and he's able to counter with the hook. But he gets doubled whenever they're in the exchange. He has his hands up way too high, and he gets to his feet, but then he gives up his back while he's standing. And then he gets drugged back down whenever, and then Sergey has both hooks in, and he's able to get the backpack position. So tough one, but hung in there. Then in the third round, he eats some jabs while he's coming forward, and then he wings some overhands, and he gets pressured back with some straights, and he gets doubled off the fence, and he gives up his back standing again. But then he chases with wide hooks, and he eats some counter hooks toward the end there. So couldn't really do too much, just kind of got out-grappled. But, you know, I liked his tenacity, at least. And then Christian Quinones took on Long Zhao in the Contender Series. In the first round, he's in and out with some leg kicks, and then he lands a right cross on the exit, and then he lands some jabs and some straights at range, and then he catches the kick, but he's able to get a takedown from there, and then he gets the Thai plum, lands some knees, but eats some hooks whenever he exits the clinch. Then in the second round, he was pressuring with some calf kicks, and he's able to stuff the double leg takedown attempt. And then he walks into a right hook in the pocket, though. But then he lands some jabs and a straight at range. And then he lands a nice uppercut, and he drops him with the straight right after that. Then in the third round, he lands an uppercut at range, which really rocks him. And then he's able to circle on the outside and just kind of land some jabs. Okay, Christian Quinones plus 100, Khalid Taha minus 120. I'm going to go with Christian Quinones here, man. Contender Series fade. I don't know. He's a slight underdog. Khalid Taha did not impress me his last fight. He had a long layoff, and Christian Quinones does some damage, and I think he can hurt Khalid, and might even be able to get a takedown or two. Who knows? But it's a coin flip. I'm gonna go with the underdog, Christian Quinones. Let's see what happens. The third fight of the night, 155 pounds, men's lightweight. You got Benoit SAINT-DENIS taking on Gabriel Miranda, UFC newcomer. Denis took on Nicholas Stolze his last fight. In the first round, he eats some knees, but he gets a single leg off of the fence, and he keeps him down, and he gets his back against the fence in like a seated position. Then he lands a jab and a head kick, and then he gets a double off the fence, transitions to full mount, and then he takes the back, puts him in a body triangle. Really nasty stuff. Really good control from him. Then the second round, he eats a right cross where he's shooting in, but he's able to escape the guillotine attempt, and he's able to get the double leg off the fence again, and he gets his back in, one hook submission, rear naked choke, just straight power there, and I was really impressed by that performance. And then Gabriel Miranda took on John Zarate, his last fight outside of the UFC. In the first round, he grabs the leg gets the body lock takedown off that, but then he gets swept while he's passing the mount. But he has the arm triangle from bottom, but not really doing too much. And then he's able to get back up to the feet, and they swing in the pocket, and he's able to get the underhook and push him all the way to the fence. And he gets able to get the trip takedown into half guard, and then he lands some elbows, and then he transitions to his back. He's softening him up with the elbows and getting Zarate to turn to his back. Really nice tactic there. Then in the second round, he lands an uppercut in the pocket, blitzes forward, and he gets the double, and then he gets the submission with the guillotine. So it's like he gets taken down with the double, but he has a tight guillotine. It doesn't look like super tight, but I guess Zarate is just really tired, and he gets it. So, I guess he kind of played into his hand there. And then Gabriel Miranda plus 240 and Benoit SAINT-DENIS minus 285. And I don't like this price at all, but if you're gonna I just don't see it for Gabriel Miranda. I think Benoit SAINT-DENIS is a crusher. I think he's a monster compared to Gabriel Miranda, and I think he's going to be able to take him down, get to his back, and make it nasty for him. And but who knows? I mean, these newcomers are coming in and getting wins, especially at minus 285. But I just think the experience is going to play into Benoit's hand, and I just haven't seen anything spectacular from Miranda. I don't think he's fought great competition. Benoit's been fighting in the UFC for a while. Don't have a great reason, to be honest with you, but Benoit's a finisher, and he's not going to fuck around in there. And, I think he can take him down and ground and pound him or get a rear naked choke. My pick here is Benoit SAINT-DENIS. Fourth fight on the card, still on the prelims, 185 pounds. You got Nasruddin Imavov taking on Joaquin Nunes out of Buckley. Pretty low down on the card, but I think they did it for ratings. But I'm super pumped. Joaquin Buckley looked great in his last fight. Nasruddin Imavov took on Edmund Shabazi in his last fight. This was roughly a year ago or something like that. In the first round, he cuts off the cage, he throws a 1-2, but then he walks into some light kicks at first, but then he gets clinched to the fence, and he gets taken down with the single, but he pulls the guillotine kind of tight, not really. But then he's able to get up to his side and push Edmund off of him and stand up, and he pushes his head all the way down to his legs, and he just kind of kicks out. And pretty effective way to get up. And then he lands some right crosses over the straight, and then he gets the overhook clinch to the fence to end the round. Then in the second round, he eats the body shots while they're trading in the pocket, but he lands a straight left, a straight right, and then a left hook in the pocket, and then he clinches, but he gets reversed, but he gets a standing guillotine. Again, not too much on it. Then he's able to stuff the single with the guillotine. It's pretty tight this time, can't really get it, but then he's able to get the double leg takedown, and whenever Edmund pulls the guillotine, he's able to work his way into the crucifix position and get the TKO. And it was pretty violent, so pretty good performance from him. And then Joaquin Buckley took on Albert Duraev his last fight. His best performance to date, in my opinion. In the first round, he moves in and out, feints, lands a head kick at range. Then he moves side to side. He rushes with hooks, and he kind of eats a head kick, but he's okay. He kind of brushes it off. Then he lands a short left hook, and then he's able to stuff the double leg takedown attempt. Then he lands a lead hook, and a flurry, and then he chases him with the flurry toward the end of the round. Then in the second round, he lands some short left punches whenever Drive comes in, and he's able to stuff the double leg again, lands left head kick off of Drive's shot, kind of like a half-ass shot. Then he misses the hook, and he gets doubled off of the fence, but then he's able to get not right back up, but he's able to wall walk and work his way up, doesn't accept the position, which I really like seeing. Then he drops him with the left hook standing at range, and then he's able to press with the overhand, but he gets shot to the fence, and then he gets taken down, but he gets to his feet, and he's able to get the body lock from his knees and able to use that to get to the clinch position. And then he drops him and he misses a right cross, but then he lands his left hook. And then in between rounds, a TKO, it's a doctor stoppage because Drive's eye is just swollen beyond belief. So, you know, really good performance from him. Yeah, he was hitting him cleanly, defended the wrestling for the most part. When he got taken down, he was able to get up. Joaquin Buckley, plus 210, and Nasruddin Imavov, minus 250. I'm going to ride with Buckley here, man. Plain and simple. I think that line's disrespectful. The last line was disrespectful. Nasruddin hasn't fought in a while. I think Buckley will be able to piece him up. I think his wrestling defense is better. And, you know, Nasruddin might be able to wear him out. But, you know, we're going to, you know, Joaquin's the underdog, and we're just going to hope he made those improvements. You know, relatively new to the UFC, and, you know, had a lot of hype on him after that knockout of the century. So, you know, I just like him. I think he's more powerful. I think he's faster, more athletic. So I'm going to go with Joaquin Buckley here. I think it's a good underdog pick. The co-main event of the prelims, 155 pounds. Men's lightweight, you got ZIAM taking on Michael FIGLAK. ZIAM took on Terrence McKinney his last fight. Not much to this fight. In the first round, he got taken down off of a leg kick, and he eats some ground and pound in half guard, but he gives up his back to full mount, and then he gives up his back again, gets submitted through a naked choke. So, but before that, he took on Luigi Vendramini. I noticed he just jabs at range, pressures toward the fence. Then in the second round, he gets pressed with some hooks, but he lands a knee, and he circles out of the clinch positions, doesn't want to be there too much. And then he steps back, and he makes a miss, and then he stuffs a double against the fence. Then in the third round, he gets clipped with the hook flurry, and then he gets rocked and pushed down into half guard, but he's able to defend the guillotine attempt and the arm triangle attempt, and then back on his feet, he just kind of skirts the fence, but he gets cut off and eats some hooks. So he really doesn't do too much, kind of just pumps his jab. But if you can pressure him and get inside on him, it's really hard, kind of struggles with the grappling. Michael FIGLAK took on Age Sardi his last fight outside the promotion. In the first round, he lands some straight shots and he gets the clinch, but then he eats a knee whenever he's exiting the clinch. And then he has the body lock, and then he goes to the single, and he gets around the back. But then they both kind of scramble, and he comes out the back, and he gets one hook in on his back against the fence. But kind of threatens for a naked choke, not too much though, but they're able to win the scrambling. He's able to win scrambles positions, which I like seeing. But then he gets blitzed, and then he gets body locked into half guard and eats some ground and pound. So, whatever. And then, he gets blitzed, but then he's able to land the body lock, gets into half guard, lands some nice ground and pound to end the round. So I like seeing that out of him. Then in the second round, he's able to stuff the single with the crotch lock position, kind of sit the corner, and then he gets around to his back, and then he lands a left hook, and then a left hook to the body, and then a right hook to the head, but then he eats a body kick in return at range. And then in the third round, he lands a flurry on the fence. He's able to get the body lock off of his striking exchange, kind of get him distracted with the hands. And then he's able to get around to his back, and then back on his feet, he just rips the body on the fence, and he's able to get the decision victory. So I thought he looked decent. I like seeing him win the scrambles. Michael FIGLAK minus 200, ZIAM plus 170. Basically, I see Ferris just kind of pumping his jab, trying to circle, and I see FIGLAK has to make it a dirty fight, get in there, hopefully get a body lock, trip, get to his back, and I think Ferris can really struggle with his grappling here. I think Michael can make it a hard night for him if he gets his hands on him. Minus 200 isn't like terrible, but ZIAM literally all he does is just circle and pump jabs. I mean, I know he does more, but pretty much. So I'm gonna go with Michael FIGLAK here. I just liked his tenacity. I think he's gonna be the one having to go get the fight. I think he can do that. I think he might break Ferris down, get him to the ground. My pick here is Michael FIGLAK. Let's see what happens. Don't really know. The main event of the prelims, 185 pounds, men's middleweight. You got Abus Magomedov making his UFC debut, taking on Dustin STOLTZFUS. Magomedov took on Lewis Taylor his last fight, and actually it wasn't his last fight, but I couldn't find his last couple fights on the internet, but this is like 3 or 4 fights ago. In the first round, he pressures towards the fence with some leg kicks, but then he gets rushed with a lead left hook and gets KO'd right away, so bad sign for me. And before that, he took on Sabado Sai. In the first round, he eats a body kick while he's pressing, and he chases with some overhands, can't really land too much, and then he just walks into some head kicks. Second round, he misses the uppercut, and then he lands a straight, but then he eats a body kick on the return. But then he gets a single off the fence, and he gets in a full mount and goes for an arm triangle. Can't secure it though. And then, but then he's able to land some ground and pound off that position. Then in the third round, he lands a single, and he gets to his back and has a bunch of rear naked choke attempts. So I like seeing that. Maybe he comes on later on in the fight, but Dustin STOLTZFUS took on Dwight Grant in his last fight. In the first round, he eats overhand whenever they're in the pocket exchange, but then he shoots on the fence. He's not able to secure the takedown, and he stalks, but he stays on the outside, pumps leg kicks, but then he eats some hooks while he's entering into range. And then in the second round, he stays at range, and he misses his hook, and he shoots to the fence, and he gets a double trip, shoots a double two trip, and then he's able to take the back with a rear naked choke attempt. Then in the third round, he eats a counter right cross and then a left hook at range, and he rocks him with the overhand right while they're exchanging in the pocket, and he gets the underhook to the double off the fence. So once he got to his grappling positions and once he got him to the ground, he was really able to do some nice work on the back. And, you know, Dwight Grant really isn't great on the ground. STOLTZFUS plus 225, Magomedov minus 265. I'm going to go with STOLTZFUS. I haven't seen enough of Magomedov. I heard he's really good. I heard he's going to smash STOLTZFUS. I don't know. We'll see. Magomedov just got starched in like 20 seconds. I don't like seeing that. Plus, definitely at minus 265. I like it. I think STOLTZFUS can hang in there. I think if he can drag the fight out to 3 rounds, you know, he might be able to win some striking exchanges. Might even be able to take him down in a clinch. Who knows? But I'm not betting minus 265 on a guy, so I get starched. So my pick here is Dustin STOLTZFUS. The first fight on the main card, 145 pounds men's featherweight, you got Charles Air Jourdain taking on Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood, new to the featherweight division. Charles Jourdain took on Shane Burgos his last fight not too long ago. In the first round, he gets pressured to the fence, eats some straights, and he gets taken down with a body lock trip and gives up the backpack position, but he's able to defend the RNC with his life, and then he's able to slide him off eventually. But then later on, he's able to get the foot sweep, and then he lands an uppercut and left hook back on the feet. But you know, definitely lost the first round. I think could have won either way, but that backpack position really hurt him. Grappling not his forte. In the second round, he lands a step-in punch, and he gets ducked whenever he throws it, and he gives up his back standing, then the backpack position again, and he almost shifts him off the side, but he kind of stops shaking him off, and then Burgos is able to ride him out pretty much the whole round. Then in that third round, he really turns it on. Third round, Jourdain here. He presses forward with some jabs. He stuffs a shot, lands a knee, then an uppercut flurry against the fence, rips the body when he's in the clinch. Then he lands a jump knee, whenever they get separated, and he lands a flurry on Burgos. Jump knee separates, gets some space, just really pieces him up, and then he's able to, when Burgos keeps trying to pull him in on the clinch, and that kind of stops any real power Jourdain was able to generate or any finishing sequences. But, you know, he really went off in the third round. Could have been 10-8, but it wasn't. Burgos gets the win. Close one, but just the grappling of Burgos is what really hurt Jourdain there. And then Nathaniel Wood took on Charles Rosa his last fight. This was his featherweight debut. And then in the first round, he lands some 1-2s from range, and he drops him with a leg kick, lands a front kick, and then an uppercut, and then a combination from range. And then he gets taken down off a jump knee, gets put in DARS like the last 10 seconds of the first round. Bad IQ, but whatever, I guess. Then in the second round, he lands a lead left hook, but he eats a hook standing at range, and then he drops him with another leg kick, and then he hits a couple foot sweeps in there, but he doesn't really chase him to the ground or anything. Just kind of trips him. Don't know why. Then in the third round, he eats a hook off of his leg kick, but then he just lands some jabs, and then he gets back to his stance and kind of plays it safe. So, and then Nathaniel Wood plus 130, Charles Jourdain minus 150. I like Charles Jourdain here. Nathaniel Wood, newcomer of the 145 division. Charles Jourdain, decently big 45er, not as big as Shane Burgos, but nobody is. And you know, I see Jourdain being able to pressure on Nathaniel Wood, not really known as a grappler. I think Jourdain can get on the inside and kind of just piece him up, rip the body. Whatever he did to Shane Burgos in the 3rd round, I can see him doing that. And I can see the size being a factor, and Nathaniel Wood might have trouble with the size as the fight goes on later. And both these guys fought on the UFC Long Island card, so Nathaniel Wood fought on the London card. Yeah, sorry, but still, like around the same time frame, Nathaniel Wood not a lot of time to like put on size. So I'm liking Charles Jourdain here. That price isn't bad. But if you want to go the whole fight over 2.5 minus 150, neither guy really a finisher. I like that one. My pick, Charles Air Jourdain. Okay. Second fight on the main card, 145 pounds, featherweight again. You got William Gomis taking on Jarno ERRENS. Both guys make their UFC debut, so, tough one to make a read on. But Gomis took on Jose Santiago his last fight. First round, he lands some head kicks, and he's able to duck the punch. Gets him in a standing arm triangle. Nothing really close, though. But he's able to slip the overhand, and he takes his back standing. Can't really do too much with it, though. And then just lands a head kick at range. Second round, he misses some odd hooks, and he slips the punch, and he gets the underhook, pushes him all the way to the fence. Then he's able to get a blast double, starts figuring out he can do this, starts doing this more. Third round, he lands an overhand left and some body kicks. Then he gets a double off the fence, and he tries to see the guillotine whenever Santiago has his back against the fence. But then he gets on top, and then TKO with hammer fist. Just kind of goes wild. So, decent performance, I guess. Jarno ERRENS took on Max Koga in the first round, uppercut, and then uppercut from range, and then he lands a 1-2, gets the KO. So, I don't know. And but then before that, he took on Mert Ozildrim. Now, this was the last fight between them, he lost to him. This was before that where he won. I couldn't find his last fight, and a couple weird promotions in there, but it's not too long ago. In the first round, he skirts the fence, but then he eats a right cross. Then he lands a right hook off of his jab, and then he gets taken down off of a wheel kick attempt, and he gives up his back, and then he gets caught in a twister. Not a great look. And then the second round, he stuffs a double, and he's able to land the cross, but then he walks into an overhand, and he comes forward, and he looks to counter whenever he gets pressed, and he backs up. And then in the third round, he lands a 1-2 in the pocket, but then he gets taken down with a single, and then he lands a right cross at range, and he stuffs the shot, and he's able to spin around and take the back. So, Jarno ERRENS plus 185, William Gomis minus 215. I really don't know what to do here. I don't really know either guy. Tape was limited for me anyway, or at least their most recent fights, which is why I like to watch. I think I'm just going to go Jarno ERRENS here. I think Gomez is a little wild on the feet. Swings big, makes mistakes. I don't know. I think he'll be able to. Gomez will be able to take ERRENS down. But I don't know, man. I don't want to bet the favorite minus 215. Gomez probably will win, but I'm just gonna go with Jarno ERRENS, underdog money, 2 unknown guys. I don't feel comfortable taking the favorite. Maybe he'll be able to stuff a takedown or two. Who knows? But I'm going to go with Jarno ERRENS is what it is. Underdog money, I guess. Okay. Then 155 pounds, John the Bull MAKDESSI taking on Nasrat Haqparast. Nasrat desperately needs a win here, unfortunately. A couple losses in a row, and you're supposed to be a huge prospect, and hasn't been getting it done. And then John the Bull MAKDESSI coming off a big victory, so a little older. Let's see if he can ride again. The MAKDESSI took on Ignacio Bahamondes his last fight. In the first round, he eats some straights at range. Then he rocks him with the counter left hook and then a right uppercut when they're in the clinch. And he stalks with some straight rights, but he lands some uppercuts and elbows whenever they're in the clinch. Really goes off on him. Then in the second round, he pumps his jabs, but he eats some left crosses in return. But he eats some straights and uppercut in the pocket. And then he presses and eats some straights, but he lands some straight rights, and then he starts ripping the body when he gets in close. Then in the third round, he backs out of the straight range, and he's able to stuff the double leg attempt of Bahamondes. Sees all this coming, but then he eats some hooks and uppercut in the pocket when he kind of has his hands down, but. He was piecing out Bahamondes. They're both going after it. But, MAKDESSI just showed a lot of toughness in that fight, in my opinion. And Nasrat Haqparast took on Bobby Green his last fight. Tough one for him. In the first round, he eats some straights while he's just kind of standing at range, doesn't really have his guard up, and then he lands some hooks and he misses a lot of them, or Bobby is able to roll him off his shoulders, but then he lands a body kick at range. Second round, he walks into some jabs and some straights. He keeps the high guard, but they're getting through because Bobby, really technical striker. But then he lands a left hook over top of Bobby's jab. It doesn't do much though. And then he lands a counter overhand left. Then in the third round, he presses with some straights and an uppercut. But again, it's just Bobby piecing him up, basically getting through his guard. Pratt is defending himself, but he's just standing there like this, and the punches are getting through. So now we're at HAQPARAST minus 230, John MAKDESSI plus 195. I'm just going to go with MAKDESSI here. I think HAQPARAST, not necessarily defensively responsible. I mean, he keeps his guard up, like I said, but doesn't really have a lot of head movement and kind of comes on a straight line a lot of the times. And MAKDESSI's just going to be in his face and pressure him back. And I think this fight is, whoever is going to take the backward step is going to lose. And I think MAKDESSI's going to be able to take it to him. I just really didn't see too much out of Nasrat, honestly. Plus, with this underdog money, I'm going to go draw MAKDESSI. The whole fight to go over 2.5, minus 185, not a bad play. Neither guy really a big finisher. I'm going to go with John MAKDESSI. On to the feature fight of the night. Don't know why this is a feature fight, but maybe we'll see some violence. 185 pounds, men's middleweight. You got Alessio Di Chirico taking on Roman KOPYLOV. Both guys kind of need a win here, you know. So, Alessio Di Chirico took on Abdulrazak Alhassan. First round, his kick gets caught. He backs up, gets KO'd with the right head kick right away, like 20 seconds in. So, but before that, he took on Joaquin Buckley around a year and a half ago. The first round, he gets pressured back with some straight shots. But he lands a short right whenever he gets pressured inside. And then he backs up, circles, lands a right head kick whenever Buckley level changes, and KOs Joaquin Buckley out of nowhere. So, pretty impressive. Before that, 3-fight losing streak. So, don't know what to make of the guy. And then Roman KOPYLOV took on Albert Drive his last fight. In the first round, he gets pressured back, and he circles. He fires 1-2s when he's backing up. And then he throws some 1-2s at the end there. Then in the second round, he drops him with the left hook, and then he's able to defend, but then he gets doubled off the fence, defends on the fence for a while, but finally gives it up, and then he gets put in a full mount of ground and pound, gives up a beautiful round, kind of. I don't know if he gave it up. He might have won that one, but, you know, dropped him, and then he gets beat the shit out of at the end of it. Then in the third round, he defends a double on the fence, then he lands a left cross in the pocket. He started landing some double jabs, sticking and moving. Then he lands some uppercut, and he stuffs his shot. And he gets doubled off the fence there. So, sorry, he gets the double off the fence there toward the end there. Really good way to put the exclamation mark on it. Roman KOPYLOV minus 115. Alessio Di Chirico minus 105. It's a coin flip. I'm not going to go with any props or anything. I'm going to go with Roman KOPYLOV just because Di Chirico just got brutally knocked out. I don't know if he can take a punch anymore, to be honest with you. And KOPYLOV, you know, he's got some fire in him. He can drop guys. Wrestling defense is okay. Di Chirico's not really a wrestler, though. So I don't have to worry about that. And I don't know. I think KOPYLOV taking less damage. I think Drive's a decent guy. I thought he looked decent against him, except giving up that second round. I just don't know. I just don't like what I saw out of Di Chirico. This one's a coin flip. I'm gonna go with Roman KOPYLOV. It is what it is, you know. The co-main event of the evening at 185 pounds, Robert the Reaper Whittaker, aka Bobby Knuckles, taking on Marvin the Italian Dream Vettori. This one is for the number 2 middleweight in the world. Now, if Izzy beats Alex Pereira, he might go up to 205. These guys, whoever wins this fight might be first line for a belt. Who knows? But it's a fun-ass matchup, and it's an important one for the division, even if they both did just lose to Izzy. But Whittaker took on Izzy's last fight, but before that he took on Kelvin Gastelum. I think Gastelum's style is a lot more similar to Vettori, so I'm going to look at that one. The first round, he lands a step-in lead left hook, and he just keeps on circling, lands a jab, then a right head kick, which rocks him. Really good. Whittaker likes that combination a lot, and then he slips a jab, and then he gets a body lock trip. Doesn't keep him down for too long, but it's there. He can hit it if he wants to. Then in the second round, he lands a lead jab whenever he gets pressed. Then he ducks under to the body lock. He gets the trip again, and then he lets him back up, like I said. Then he lands a 1-2 and then a head kick toward the end of the round. The third round, he eats a lead left hook, and then he gets cut off. But he keeps circling, keeps moving, staying out of danger's way, and then he lands a straight right off of his hook, and then he double jabs, and he circles out. Then he lands a right cross and a leg kick, and basically just sticking him moving, piecing him up, and you know, didn't let Gastelum really get inside on him. and you know, didn't like Gastelum even anywhere near a takedown. So Marvin Vettori took on Paulo Costa's last fight. Paulo Costa, of course, for that fight, had the fight up to 205 the week of, so had about 20 pounds on Marvin. In the first round, he lands a 1-2 on the fence. He stuffs the clinch and he presses him to the fence. Then he slips the cross, lands a straight flurry on him. Then in the second round, he eats some right crosses, standing at range. Then he gets rocked with a head kick, but he's able to duck the hook, and he's able to get a mat return on Costa. Can't keep him down too long, but still it's there if he needs it. Then he walks into some head kicks. Then he lands a left cross and some elbows on the fence inside the clinch. And then in the third round, he ducks the head kick, but then he eats a hook wherever he's retreating. And then he lands a straight left at range. Sorry, he eats a head kick, but then he eats some hooks while he's retreating. And then he lands a straight left at range. And then he lands a knee, but he gets doubled, eats some ground and pound, but he's able to get back up. He just kind of forces himself back up. Marvin Vettori's not going to accept the bottom position on anyone. But then he's able to stand up and reverses whenever Costa pulls the guillotine. Stupid mistake on his part, and you know, you're not going to keep Vettori down. But you know, both those are 5 rounds, but this is a 3-round fight, so I want to see how each looked in 3 rounds. Marvin Vettori plus 175, Whittaker minus 205. There's just some things I don't like. I don't like Robert talking about going up to 205 already, possibly overlooking Marvin. I don't look too much into those things, but it's something that'll play a factor here in such a high-level matchup. And this price on Vettori, I think, is a little disrespectful. I just don't. Everybody's assuming Robert's going to win. Robert's going to probably try to keep him at range, piece him up with a jab, land his head kick combination, and then Vettori just going to probably charge toward him like a Terminator. Want to get on the inside, maybe rip the body, maybe get a clinch. You know, I think maybe Vettori can wear him down later on in the rounds. I think Robert's going to have a really good first round. I think Vettori's going to have trouble finding him. But I think as the fight goes on, Vettori can get to the clinches, rip the body. I think he could probably outpoint him from there, maybe land the harder shots. I like Vettori. I like this underdog shot. My pick here is Marvin Vettori. You know, why not? On to the main event of the evening, 265 pounds, men's heavyweight. We got Cyril Gane taking on Thai Bam Bam Tuivasa. And I don't know what the winner of this fight's going to do. Maybe fight Curtis Blades, maybe fight Stipe, maybe they make the Francis and John Jones fight, who knows. But heavyweight has like an unofficial tournament going on. We don't know what they're fighting for, but you don't want to lose, you want to win. If you win, you're in good standing, and you got some potential for a big fight in the future. So it's a huge one, and you know, obviously they're in Paris, Cyril Gane's hometown, so should be a fun one. Cyril Gane took on Francis Ngannou his last fight. In the first round, he skirts the fence, shoots a double, but he gets stuffed. Then he's able to get into the clinch, and then he jabs at range, but he gets rushed, eats a body shot by Francis. Then in the second round, he lands some light leg kicks, just touching the dude. Then he lands a 1-2 and a circle out. He's just trying to play a distance game with Francis. In the first round, he was all the way in on him. Now he's just trying to stay away from him, pepper him with shots, basically. But then he lands a wheel kick to the head whenever he gets pressed, but it doesn't fully hit Francis, but it does connect. Then in the third round, he lands his front kick, gets caught, and he gets taken down, and he gives up his back and a cross wrist. But then he turns into him whenever Francis puts a hook in, because Francis doesn't take people's backs. Back on the feet, he lands a spin elbow in the clinch. Then he clips him with the head kick, but he gets doubled off the fence, and he tries the Kimura. Can't get it. Everybody says Cyril Gane's like a submission expert. I don't know about that. And then just in the fifth round, he's able to get to the single into the crackdown position, but he pulls a leg lock. So it was really bad IQ in my opinion. So Cyril Gane, can he wrestle? I don't know. And then Bam Bam Tuivasa took on Derek Lewis his last fight. Great performance from him. First round, he slips the hook, and he's able to get the clinch. He gets a good strategy on Derek Lewis. He gets all the way in on Derek Lewis, clinches him up pretty early on, but then he eats overhand right off of his leg kick, but then he gets clinched, but he's able to stop the single, and he's able to reverse the clinch, but then he gets taken down with the inside trip by Derek Lewis. Who would have thought, you know? But anyway, he eats some huge shots. He kind of gives up his back, but he's getting to his feet the whole time, but he eats some massive shots, but he gets up to his feet, basically eats Derek Lewis's shots, which is amazing and scary. So that's sometimes what it takes at heavyweight, you know? And then he's able to get the clinch, but then he gets hip tossed, but he stays onto the single. He has I think Derek has the overhook, and yeah, Derek, I believe Derek has overhook and steps over, but Tuivasa stays on him, so. Then in the second round, he eats a 1-2 and some uppercuts from Derek, but he's able to stuff the trip attempt this time. He's wise too, he knows what's happening, but he eats some uppercuts, but then he lands some short elbows in the clinch situation against the fence, and then he frames off, and then he lands an overhand right, and then he lands another elbow in the clinch, and that's it, bro. Derek Lewis just literally bounces off the cage and falls off, and Derek Lewis is flatlined, and it was awesome. Great battle. He took some huge shots, and he delivered some huge shots, and that's what it takes at heavyweight, especially fighting a beast like Derek Lewis. So, now Cyril Gane, not really a power puncher, but you know, Tuivasa can crack. He can get on the inside and do some work. Tuivasa plus 410, Cyril Gane minus 520. I'm gonna go with Tuivasa, dude. That line's insane. I get it, dude. Cyril Gane's the best fight, you know, better fighter. He's gonna keep him at range. All Tai can do is hit him with a power shot. Well, that's what they said about Francis Ngannou, and Francis Ngannou took him down. Now, Tai, not a great wrestler, but maybe he can wrestle a little bit. You know, he shot takedowns before, didn't really get them, but who knows, man. And that line's insane. And if Tai can get on the inside of Cyril Gane, dude, I mean, why couldn't he get into a clinch and crack him with some elbows? Who knows? So I think that's a possibility. Obviously, Cyril wants to keep him at distance, pretty much. Just pick him apart. Tai's not going to stand for that. I think Cyril Gane might win a round or two. But here's the thing. People think Tai's going to gas late in the fight. I think that's when he explodes. Like, third or fourth round, I think Tai's going to go for it. I think he can clip him. I think he can hurt him. I think he can at least make it interesting. Plus 420, it's worth a shot. My pick here is Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for riding with me. I appreciate it. I've been doing terrible, and I've got my heart broken with the Kamaru loss, but it is what it is. We had a week off, some time to reflect, and I'm back here. I did my research again, and just got to get back on the horse, and it is what it is, and hopefully we'll win some money. There's a lot of underdog plays I like, so you just got to hit a couple of those, and you can get right back in the profit margin. So I appreciate it. Check my description, leave a comment, like the video, share the video, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment. I'll get back to you. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff. Hit me up on there. I'll get back to you. Ask me a question. Give me some advice. I'm always here for it. I appreciate everybody riding with me. Let's see some upsets. Let's see some violence. And let's see some profits. Good luck, everyone.